But Pastor asked me to do this, and so I'm going to try to cram about a little over 30 years into a very short time. I started off very young in the Southern Baptist Church, not the modern Southern Baptist, but the original Southern Baptist that was hellfire brimstone, very strict. About 12 years old, I gave my life to Christ. I was very devout in it. I'd take my Bible to school. Study periods, I would read it. Of course, that wasn't real popular. He got made fun of a lot. I was kind of a geek. People picked on me to the point that at one point I got beat up. And I was laying on my back on the yard. And I vowed at that time to never allow that to happen again. And from that moment, my life changed. Throughout my life, I've never lost my belief, but I lost my path many times. And it never happened again. I changed who I was completely. You know, all this used to be up here, not down here. I became very intimidating, very mean, very angry. Events happened throughout my life that caused me to become more angry. During that, though, I became popular. I got into sports. I was liked. I was feared. I was respected. And that worked. I met my wife, Jody, in high school. And we got together, and her parents decided they had to move back up here to Alpena. So that made me angry. So I became an emancipated minor at that time. I ended up moving up here too, to be with her. She became pregnant with Ashley. Her family didn't care for that much. They got together and basically corralled me out of the city. That made me angry. I went down and I started drinking a lot, drugs. Became more intimidating. Hurt a lot of people, physically, mentally, emotionally. I've been in jail 7 times for assault and battery. Well, 1 time was for larceny. The other 6 were assault and battery. I was angry. And through all this time, I blamed it on God. Somehow it was his fault. You know, I got married. That was destined to fail. Jody and I ended up getting back together. I came up after 7 years to see Ashley. I'd never seen her since she was a baby. And she was in a failed relationship. And we started talking, and after a while we got back together. We ended up getting married. And then I started going to church with her again. In this whole process, there was many times I literally, physically and outwardly called God out. If he wanted to destroy me, then face me and do it to my face. And I never understood the fear of God until I got back into church, and it really struck me, you know, that God never wanted to hurt me. He never forsake me in any way. It was me that left him so many times. And we got back together, and it was not pretty for quite some time. We started going to a church, and things started to get better. There was still a lot there, a lot of hurt, a lot of anger. And God started working with me slowly. And then there was some issues in the church. And we left the church. And we were gone out of church for a very long time. And of course, you don't realize it then, but when you're not around a church group, things have a tendency to start going off course again. And no, we weren't these huge outgoing sinners or anything like that, but your life really starts to fade. And the whole 8-time thing, I think, for some of us is a little low. Because Jody had told me we need to go back to church more than that. So we started looking around for churches, and we came here. And I was like, yeah, it's all right, you know. I mean, the people that greet you are great, you know. I mean, people cared about you here. And I was like, wow, that's all right. So then we went to a couple more, and then I said, well, we'll go back and check out First Assembly again. So I went back, and then we just started coming, and it felt like home. It felt like a place that we wanted to be. And I think one of the things that I like the most about it is if you want to be a person that sits in your pew every Sunday, that's okay. They'll encourage you to do more, but if you don't want to, you're good. If you feel that you want to move forward, they're going to encourage you in that direction too, and they're going to stand behind you and strengthen you. And, I just thank God for never leaving me, even though I had left him so many times. My past is really ugly. It's, of course, a lot more detailed. But, God, as ugly as it was, it's okay. It doesn't even matter, because it's washed away. When God comes into your life, it's all gone. It's like it was never existed. And I'm pretty thankful for that.